Okay, so recently I got a correspondence from a friend of mine that kind of threw me for a loop. I wasn't really expecting it, but I was just got done with treatments. I was feeling really bad, and I checked my email and run across this notification from a friend of mine. I'll have to paraphrase it here because I don't really remember exactly what all it says. It said, "Hey bro, I'm a Republican now. I believe in capitalism and gun rights. Ed Snowden is a traitor, and I don't mind the NSA listening in. I have nothing to hide. Zimmerman was justified, and Obama and his group are using race to try to destroy this great nation." I think that's what it said. Basically, a friend of mine from way back that I used to work with, I guess wanted to let me know that he's a Republican and the way he felt about things. Because, on Twitter I post a lot of stuff. And I'm sure that kind of set him off, considering. But this video is kind of a response to him because I can't type anymore. My hands are really screwed up, so I have to do things in a video. I just kind of want to explain what was going on, so that way I didn't come off as crazy talking about stuff that wasn't referenced. But anyways, this is a response to that friend. I just want you to know that I'm glad you shared that with me. And as far as I'm concerned, I've known that this whole time, and it hasn't affected my opinion of you one way or another. As far as I'm concerned, you're still, the same great guy that I've always known. I'm not of the mindset that politics should ever interfere with a friendship. I've lost several friends over the years due to political stuff, and it's really sad. It's sad that things have kind of gotten to this point in our country to where people could let go of their friendships over politics, especially considering most of the politics that runs through this country is just completely made up to keep us, at odds with each other as a populace. So anyway, I just want to say, it's, as far as I'm concerned, you're cool. I'm great with you. There's absolutely no problem with whatever. I may, some of the things that you mentioned I agree with, and some of them I don't. But, that's just like, I know people who don't like certain foods that I like, and they don't like certain bands that I like, but, they're still friends. I still think they're great people, and there's many things that they could teach me. One thing that I've learned is you don't learn things by being around people that echo your every opinion and your every thought. If you get in the echo chamber, you never learn anything new. And, I've got, like, another friend that's a libertarian. I guess if you had to categorize him, he would be a libertarian. Is a real big Ron Paul fan. And he turns me on to information all the time that, I wouldn't have found just going through my normal news channels. I don't watch news on TV. I gather news online because the stuff on TV is just like pro wrestling anyway. It's just a big show. He turns me on to so much stuff, and I think, what would my life be without people in my life that have differing views? So I want to say, thank you for the friendship that we have had, and I hope that we continue to have friendship in the future. One reason why I say this is because I've lost friends in the past due to my political views. I had one friend right after I got sick and I started writing when I was blogging on MySpace. I had one friend that took issue with the fact that I was talking about global warming. Now, I've spent my whole life raised by scientists, so of course, when it comes to global warming, I've looked at the data that's there and I've come to the conclusion it's totally real, and that it is mainly man-made. Now, I know there's a lot of people who don't agree with that. This one friend didn't. And, he took issue with what I had written, and I was like, well, that's fine. If you can, give me some more information, because I would love, believe me, I would love to have global warming completely disproved. I would love to wake up one day and somebody say, the whole thing was a hoax, here's the hard data for it. You're all idiots because you believed it, because that would mean things would be fucked up. So I told him, please share any information you can with me. And he was kind of off-put because he expected me to argue or something. But, I'm looking for truth here. I don't care about party line stuff or any of that. Well, that passed. I didn't get any information about it. And then later on, I wrote something where I compared gay rights in modern times to the civil rights movement. And this guy got really pissed because he had people in his family that were black or part black, and said that it was a slap in their face for me to even say it. And I apologized. I said, I'm sorry that, it has offended you, but this is the way I see it. And I can't help the way that I feel. But ultimately, it is all a matter of opinion when it comes to that. Well, after that, he broke off communication with me. And, this was a guy I used to joke around with all the time. We used to, joke around about TV shows and play video games together, all of this stuff. This great friendship that was torn apart over politics. And that hurt. And there was no reason for it. Then later, I had another friend that, I had known since I was a teenager, that linked into me on MySpace. And of course, I was really a prolific blogger by then. I was cranking out 3 blogs a week. And in the process, I don't even remember what was going on at the time. Rush Limbaugh or Glenn Beck or somebody had said something that was, in bad taste. It was really kind of hateful towards somebody. And I wrote a blog about it. Well, he got very upset with me. And I was like, well, I'm sorry, I know that you're a fan of theirs, but I just can't see, saying that this statement is justified, because it's just a really dickhead thing to say. And anyway, so he unfriended me. And then a week later, he refriended me. And then he kept writing me emails basically trying to convince me to quit writing. And I was like, I'm real sorry that these things I'm writing have offended you, but they come straight from my heart. This is me speaking from my heart about the way that I see the world around me. And, I wasn't just blogging about politics and stuff, but he was like, you need to leave the politics alone. And I was like, well, you don't have to read it. But I can't quit writing. It's what I do. That's like telling a painter, like, your painting sucks. You have to quit painting right now. And Anyway, after friending and unfriending me about 3 or 4 times, eventually he just said that, he couldn't deal with it, that I was infuriating him and all this, and I never heard from him again. Well, I have a friend that's conservative that he did the same thing to, because the guy wasn't conservative enough for him. He got upset because this guy was pointing out a lot of the hypocrisy in the things that Glenn Beck was talking about. And he wrote him this strange thing, saying that Glenn Beck was the only hope for this country, and because he was the only person that would bring Jesus back to America and all this stuff, and told him off. And, granted, he had more in common with my conservative friend, but he still cut off the friendship. That's one thing that I want to address here is both political parties, the people in Washington, and the people who control the media, regardless if you're watching Fox News, CNN, MSNBC, whatever, Blaze Network or Current TV or any of this stuff, they want to keep people polarized against each other. And it's gotten to the point to where families are breaking apart. There's parents who won't talk to their kids. There's brothers and sisters that won't talk to each other. Friends are falling away from each other because all over politics. It's because, Sean Hannity said these people are bad. Keith Olbermann said this person was the worst person in the world. And that's just no way to look at life. I mean, ultimately, when it comes down to it, does it really matter? What is more sacred? The connection between two people in real life who have physical contact with each other at some point or another, who can look at each other and go, this person is a cool motherfucker, I like them? Or is it more important what some stranger in a television studio says in order to get better ratings, or what some politician says in order to polarize people enough to get more votes? I say with 100% certainty that the connection between people is what's important. We're not America because we're us and them. We're America because we're us together. And ultimately, that's what started America, and that's what's going to save America. That's what's going to be sacred in our lives when we're on our deathbed, taking our last breath, and we look back over our life. Are we going to care what Bill O'Reilly said about some abortion activist? Are we going to care what Rachel Maddow said about Rick Santorum? No. We're not going to care at all about these things. Because what we're going to care about in that last breath, that last moment of our lives, is the connections we had with people that we really cared about. And so, with that, politics does not matter when it comes to friendship. Not in my opinion. If somebody is a friend of mine, it's because they are a sacred individual that I value. And it doesn't matter what team anybody's on. It doesn't matter who votes for. If they're a good person, well, that's good enough for me, and that's all that matters. So anyway, thank you for watching.